Good morning again, it's Cody Henriksen, and we're going to show you how we can make it so our buckets changes that we can make it so it can actually change what's displayed on the screen and move it so it'll have that state value represented when we go from one scene to another. And so as you can see right here, I've got my bucket list right here. I can scroll through it. And of course we can just automatically go over and look at the detail view. You can see it's a Thunderbird making varsity soccer for using that various things we've been working for. But we want to make it so we can also have that state change go and show when I can change something on this screen, change will be reflected on the other screen for just the temporary visible state. And so I go ahead and do a long press on here, change to what you want right here, they go right there. I move over and I can see that right there, it's also back on that. So that's right there, it's available. And that's only on the what's being displayed on there, it's not changing the values that we're working with inside it. And if I go ahead and I were to go do it for any of the other one right there, there's a free right here, change this back again. I'll do a long press on this one and change to what you want, and it's no longer in a free, it's now a change to what you want. The information still there is still shown as it was above. So we have that change what we want right there. Those are all changed for us right there. To make that happen, all we have to do is make a couple small changes inside our bucket item cell. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. So inside our bucket item cell, to make those changes, as you can see, I've removed the comments for the other changes we were working on since we're now in a more final state of our app. We add a new state variable called move on. It's a Boolean variable. I'm assigning that to be false by default because whenever I make the struct, that's what I want a value to be on as a default location. I have to make a change in here in my navigation link. My navigation link needs to have an update for the isActive parameter. The isActive parameter on that navigation link initialization is saying, hey, whether or not it's depending on the value of the move on state variable. So we're using that right there and using that hook reference with a $sign attached. So it means it's going to look at the binding value that's inside that move on. We then look inside the changes we make inside our H-stack. On the H-stack, we're adding a couple properties. We're having an on-tap gesture, and that on-tap gesture we're assigning move on to be true, just a single one-line block. And then finally, inside our long press gesture, we're doing perform change. The reason we have the on-tap gesture before we have the on long press gesture is because in order for that long press gesture to work properly and not lock the screen up, we have to have the on-tap gesture handled first. It's just a current bug that we're working with. Eventually we'll get past that and we won't have to deal with this again. But that's how we're making it so we can make this work and have a cute little app that'll work and show that display change. Then inside our change method, private func change returns void, this is where we're performing the changes that we're working on this. And so right now you can see current bucket.creature is being assigned to the new value of change whatever you want with a cute smiley face. You could change anything you want, any of the values that exist inside that current bucket or your associated object you're working with in your own project would allow that change to happen, and so you can make that work with that. And that's how we can make it so we can go back to the app really fast. And again, when I click right here, I read that to change what I want. Now, again, because this is just showing that quick display, if I rerun my app right here inside this, I stop my data demo and rerun my app again. There's my data with list demo. That changed what you want, this Climb Wars Thunderbird. Those changes were not maintained across that, so I have to make sure I actually change that over here again if I want to have that change happen, because I'm not changing those state changes to the actual data store that we're working with, because that's not the actual structure we're changing. We're only changing it when we actually change the actual structure itself, and you can see that in some of the other videos. But that's what we're working on right now. There's a quick little demo you can do some fun stuff with. Hope you have a great day, and see you again soon. Cheers.